Hi, I'm Liper, a top 250 Private ganker, totally for real, probably. I don't know, it's been a while since I checked. But I'm here to settle something. I'm here to fix an overarching issue in Deepwoken. As I'm ganking, I notice this horrible drip. You know, doing my usual Private ganking, I kill these guys and they're like using the most basic shit, just eager tradesmen, nothing else, and I'm here to fix that. So, here we are in the Deepwoken outfit creator. If you don't know, this is a very good resource to making drip before you do it in Deepwoken. I recommend doing it. It's very nice, because who knows, maybe that fleet warden cape doesn't look good on you, and you just wasted like 6 hours of your life trying to get the red one. Who knows? You want to decide what look you want to go for. Are you going to go for something edgy, colorful, maybe something light, perhaps something grayscale, or maybe some brutality, which I still need to figure out how to do, but from what I know looks really nice. You want to start with gender and race. Depending on what race you have for your slot, you can change it around. I have Etrian on the build I'm making, very nice. Toggle eyelashes if you want. It doesn't really matter. Facial markings we'll worry about later, because they give depth to your character. You want your character to feel like it has a story behind it, and you can do that with these markings, the hair and the accessories, and you just build on your character. So when it comes to doing hair, you want to think of fluffiness. You want to add texture. If you make something bland and flat, it's not going to look good with the Deepwoken hair texturing. So ideally, you'd want something with a lot of texture. This is usually one of the hardest parts for me, because there's so many different options for hair, and I'm not going to lie, 90% of them look fucking miserable. Let me explain the process of color. With color, what you really want to focus on are your blacks, whites, your primary and accents, your highlights. Those are all very important. Let's say I want to go a base color of red. Red's going to be the primary color of this. Now you need an accent color. An accent color would be something that would be either to the left or to the right of your primary color. Or, better yet, it could be a darker shade or a lighter shade of it. That's where the base colors come in. Base colors are there just to make your character not look completely red and to add a little bit of texture and displacement throughout the entire thing. Personally, I really like challenging myself by using either Elite Pathfinder Cloak, this is really nice, or we could do something like the Justicar Defender, the Megalodon Coat, or my favorite, the Royal Duelist. Now, I'm going to go over a trick real quick for you guys. If you see a color of an outfit that's already pre-colored without you dyeing anything, you could change this to a more neutral color. On here, on our color wheel, since this piece of equipment is already pink, if we turn it more pink, it kind of looks the same. So to counter that, pull it to the opposite direction of the color it already is to reach a more neutral color. Here, I achieved gray and green by pulling to this direction, which the green doesn't look very nice, but let me show you a better example. If I go over to, say, the Dark Royal Duelist, I notice that these parts are a little bit yellow, so we're going to pull this to the opposite of yellow, and now look at it. That looks pretty solid. Gray on black. Let's move on. Actually, hold on. Before we move on, I'm going to mess around with the outfit a little bit, see what I like the best. I think I like doing something like the Cutthroat Light Armor, because it does match well with the blacks here, and the black here, and this brown. This brown is really good with the trims on the outside. Speaking of which, let's get into highlights. On a lot of arms equipment, you could see that they actually have some highlights to their color, such as the trims on the outside of this Dark Royal Duelist, or the whites on this Royal Pathfinder. They're there to add texture and help emphasize the colors that are already present on the piece. These are very important when deciding your drip. They're not necessarily something you can control, but try to aim for something like a gold, black, or white. They add a really nice touch to your overall look. My general rule of thumb, if you want to go for a very unique, colorful, and very diverse looking look of your character, I have what's called the 2-spot rule. Any presence of a color on your drip has to appear at least twice in 2 different places. This is a perfect example of the 2-spot rule. I look on the outfit and I notice a little bit of brown. I picked brown to help accent the trims on this Megalodon coat. I personally really like the red Megalodon coat. It looks really solid. So, as the 2-spot rule, My rule is that if a color is present on your outfit somewhere, it has to appear at least twice. It helps even out the color throughout the entire drip. Try working with this mentality of I need to spread out color everywhere. The 2-spot rule also applies to things that aren't highlights. Like for instance, I chose a white base color for this drip. And hey, look at that. In the middle right here, there is a little bit of white, as well as the white in the eyes and the white in the Dawnwalker Ode. If you have a color alone, like let's say this black here, I'm not a big fan of two conflicting base colors, like white and black. Not a big fan, but in my opinion, it looks good enough, and it's passable. But this is ideally something you don't want to do. I added all the other things like my oath, my weapon, my bell. The weapon doesn't really matter in terms of looks. It's not, I don't want to say it's not a big part of your build, because it is, but if you can incorporate some aspect of color to it, I would. Personally, I think it looks fine on its own, isolated. It's not following the 2-spot rule, but in my opinion, it looks good enough. Alright, face equipment. This is where it gets fun. Facewear is there to give your character a lot of personality, a lot of experience, a lot of lore to your character. Some of my favorites include the aristocrat eyeglasses, the blindfold, the regular eyeglasses, the smith's goggles, and the warrior's eye patch. I like these a lot, but you could get even weirder. If you ditch the idea of hair and combine it with a helmet or a hat item of some sort, you could create a very awesome combo. For example, this is a build I was going to make sometime in the future, but what I really like about this is it's very simple. I have a barrel helm with a Hive Lord's mask on. This really gives a lot of unexpected texture, and this isn't something you would see normally in Deepwoken. Also, this one has the Grammar Horns, which makes it look really, really solid. And it gives a lot of unique personality to your overall build. Now, when you're making your character, don't rule out accessories. A lot of hair IDs actually have some sort of accessory to them, and you can find a lot of them just by searching up keywords like wings, hats, whatever. For example, this is my PvE build, Star Kindred and all that. You can see the halo on the head and some feathers. Those are just accessories that I put on that I found as hair IDs, and they look really, really solid and really tie it all together. These accessories are there to add a little more personality to your character if you haven't added enough already. And they're just there for aesthetic looks and really make your character look unique, you know? Some of these accessories can include stuff like these spikes from Valkyrie head I found. You could also add horns if you're not a Gremmer already, or if you are a Gremmer, you could add even more horns and it looks really cool. Also, don't forget about the beard. A lot of people underestimate beards, but they're there to add a lot of personality to your character. I use them on like half my builds. They look really, really good and make them look like super war-torn and old. I like the vibe a lot. I like the vibe a lot. It's a personal thing. If you don't like it, you don't have to put it. But that's just another accessory you could add onto your character to make it look even drippier than it already is now. And yeah, that's about it. But before I let you free, I'm going to showcase a few of my personal favorite Deepwoken builds. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. And yeah, if you want some inspiration off of these, you can take them. Be my guest. Goodbye.